Hi, and welcome to the Patricia Jo Grover Show, where we make believers into achievers. Joining me today, I have Dr. Wendy Labat. She is the financial healer, and she's written a book all about finances and how they can make your life better. She'll tell you a little more about it, but she helps you take control over your finances. Wendy's a breast cancer conqueror, and Dr. Wendy Labat, she's acquired over 300,000 in financial bills during medical treatment, but thanks to her being financially protected, Wendy didn't fall into financial ruin. Dr. Wendy is also known for being the author of their Diagnose Your Financial Health. That's the name of her book. And she has a financial cures system to empower you to protect your savings to avoid losing everything. Wendy teaches 3 steps to diagnose, optimize, and protect based on her personal journey and the impact she's had in helping others to prevent financial ruin. Wendy knows firsthand how to avoid being one situation away from losing it all. So, welcome, Wendy, because I know there's lots of people who have to hear what you have to say.
Well, thank you, Patty. I'm going to call you Patty, even though you have
Yeah.
Patricia on your logo. But thank you for having me. I'm so excited about it. And congratulations on your show. I know you've got all kind of good things ahead of you, and I'm looking forward to just seeing your success as you move along. But thank you so much.
Right. So glad because right now we still are in this pandemic and still people are worried about, what their future holds for them. I had you on as a guest when I was doing my last show, the Keep Focused on Your Future, and it's still, I've just had to up my game because there is so much need for all this positive coming out into the world right now. So you have some interesting stuff you want to share with us. So I'm going to start asking you some questions so we can get
Okay.
viewers some answers.
All right.
You have key steps to protect people against financial ruin. Can you share some of those with us?
Well, the first thing is, your mindset. When it comes to money, you have to have the right mindset. You have to be disciplined and you have to understand how money works. And a lot of folks don't know, there is a lack of knowledge in that area. So we start with that because you have to have the right mindset to do, the things that we propose that you do to take control of your finances. We have to break some of those habits. We have to control that spending, and we have to increase income without you having to go out and get a second job. So we've got techniques for all of that.
Awesome. Can you just share a few?
Okay. Well, when we come to diagnosing your financial health, it's just like when you go to the doctor, they're going to take your vital signs, which is your blood pressure, weight, temperature. Now, in the financial realm, your vital signs is your income, your expenses, and your spending. And a lot of people keep track of their income and expenses, but they neglect to, look at their spending, which is what can kill in, any budget or any financial plan. So we take the steps to help you take a real look in those areas and not just off the top of your head, but do a deep dive so you can see not only what the traditional income sources are, but find, sources that are outside the box that you're leaving on the table. And then with the expenses, we try to show you how to reduce those expenses without spending more money. And we also help you distinguish what's a debt versus an expense, because debts can be paid off and eliminated, but expenses they're recurring, like your, utility bills. You can pay it off, but it's going to come back around in the next 30 days. But say a debt like a car, you purchase a car, once you pay that off, that debt is eliminated. So we, kind of help you distinguish that and think about that. And then with the spending challenge, like I said, that kills a lot of people's budgets. And we try to help you see that you're spending more than you need to on things that are wants versus needs. We help you distinguish what's a need and what's a want, because some people think their wants or needs, but they really aren't. And I think this pandemic is really helping people to understand what they need versus what they want. So that's been, sort of a good thing, that's come a silver lining that's come out of this. So once you look at the money that you're spending on wants, that money can be redirected on needs, on reducing expenses, eliminating debt. And another way to reduce expenses is to go back, renegotiate some of those contracts and service agreements. I just up my internet speed, got more channels than I had before, and I'm spending $90 less a month on my, internet and cable bill. And that's because I went back and renegotiated. I saw, what's available for me now. And, I'm a good, loyal customer. So they wanted to give me the best deal because, sometimes you have to say, look, if I can't get a better deal here, maybe your competitor can give me a better deal. And people don't want to lose a good customer. So you want to, look at that, things like gym memberships that you haven't used even before the virus hit. You bought it, but you weren't using it. So, get rid of it. And since the virus hits, now they're opening up some of the gyms, but still may not necessarily be safe. So eliminate that. You could take that money and buy some equipment and do your own workout at home. So it's things like that you need to look at.
Fantastic. Those are all some great things, Wendy. All some great things. So you also have some creative ways to increase cash reserves. So let's hear something about that.
Okay, well, one thing is, like I said, once you start reducing those expenses and eliminating that debt, you can use that to build your cash reserves. Now, right now, because of the pandemic, a lot of lenders are allowing you to defer payments. And deferment doesn't mean you don't have to pay it. It means you don't have to pay it right now. So if you could take advantage of that with your car, your house, your credit cards, and even some utilities will offer that. Take that money, build your cash reserve, and don't go out spending it just because you're not paying your mortgage or your car. Doesn't mean that's extra money you can go spend, but that is extra money you can put away for times like this. That way you can build those reserves because you need to have them. Because if you don't have cash reserves, one, car repair or one, illness or anything can set you back months or even years. Exactly. Or, put you in a position where, if you can't get your car fixed, then you can't do what you need to do. So those are the kind of things that the mindset transformation as well as the discipline comes in.
Yes, ma'am. Agreed. So you already shared a little bit about strategies to reduce expenses and debt, because I'm looking at the list of things that you do. So you pretty much, is there anything else that you could share on that?
Well, I wanted to talk about how to increase your income, if I may, pivot a little bit.
Yes.
Because this is the time that people really need to look at out of the box sources of income, ways to really, increase your income by just doing the things you do regularly. Again, this will take some discipline and transformation of your thinking. I'm the type of person, I don't really use cash a lot. So, I pay all my bills with credit cards, but those credit cards have some kind of rewards or points or something, cash back, where I'm going to pay that bill anyway. So I might as well get back 5% or, 1,000 points or whatever the reward may be. But you have to make sure you pay that debt off. You take that money that you would have paid for that bill or that expense and you charge it on your credit card, but you take that money and pay your credit card off. You don't want to get in debt doing that. And that's where the discipline, because some people think, okay, I put it on my credit card, I got this cash extra, and it's not extra. It's money that you have to pay that credit card with. So those are some of the things that you can do to build up points. And then, I shop at Kroger, and I don't know if there's a Kroger in your area, but it's a grocery store that it has a rewards program. So when I get my prescriptions filled, when I, buy groceries, I'm building up points that are good for up to $1 off per gallon of gas. So I've gone to the, gas station, and my vehicle uses diesel, which right now is the most expensive gas you can get. and I got $1 off a gallon. So instead of paying $2.55, I'm paying $1.55.
That's
And then when it
fabulous.
went down to $1 something, I even got to where I was paying cents per gallon. It saved me like $20,
Woohoo.
$30. So those are things that, you want to take advantage of. Another story I like to tell, because this is a big one. I went to a conference last summer, and it was at a Marriott. I stayed at a Marriott, a full service Marriott. I'm a Marriott person. I'm at the titanium level. I have a Marriott Rewards credit card, or Bonvoy is what it's called now. So I had enough points to book my stay at a full service Marriott. I wasn't a Fairfield Inn or one of the brand hotels. It's a full service Marriott. I flew, the conference was in Chicago. So I flew from Atlanta to Chicago on Southwest Airlines, which again, I have the credit card and I have the rewards points. So my round trip ticket, if I would have had to pay for it, would have cost me almost $500. But because I had the points, I paid $5.60 each way. So it cost me $11.20 for a round trip ticket from Atlanta to Chicago. When I got to the hotel, I had already booked my room on the points, but because I'm the titanium level, I got upgraded to a suite, which would have cost me like $500 or $550 a night. And not only did I get the suite, but being a titanium member, I get to eat in the club room. And for breakfast, I'd have smoked salmon, quiche, fresh pastries, fruit, and all that. That would have cost me probably about $50 if I would have ordered that same type of food in the restaurant downstairs. So my whole trip for the hotel would have cost me almost $5,000, like $4,500 with the food and all that. So, I saved about $5,000, and I don't know about you, but I was able to do something with that $5,000 that I saved. But those are the kind of things, and that's the kind of habit you want to get into. Take advantage of those rewards points, because some people get so lazy, they don't even want to just give their phone number to get credit for it, but you're leaving money on the table. So we don't want to leave money on the table.
Right. Do you hear this, viewers? Really, if you want more ideas and everything like that, you're going to have to contact Miss Wendy, and she'll be leaving her information down below so that you can get in touch with her for some more fantastic ideas, because that's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. Bravo. Because we all need to save that little extra now and get more bang for our buck. Fabulous. So then you here it says you have a simple formula to improve your financial strategy. You've already given us so much, but what can you tell us with that?
Well, one thing that I want to point out and really emphasize, especially for us entrepreneurs, the proper protection is an area that we just kind of put aside. We put that at the bottom of the totem pole. But I'm a breast cancer conqueror, and expanded my business to the insurance and financial service industry. I did it, because that was the Affordable Care Act was enacted. So people were mandated to have health insurance. Employers were mandated to provide health insurance. So I was like, okay, this is an opportunity to pivot and, really take advantage of that opportunity. But I didn't want to be a hypocrite. So all the services and products I was trying to sell my clients, I purchased myself. And then 3 years later, I got diagnosed with breast cancer. And my chemotherapy bills were $67,000 every 3 weeks for a year. I had 5 surgeries, MRIs, CAT scans, mammograms, labs, whatever, everything that goes with that. And those bills totaled up to over $300,000 in addition to the $67,000 every 3 weeks for a year. And I don't know about you, but that could have ruined me financially. But because I practiced what I preach, and like I said, when I got all that, it wasn't because I thought I was going to use it or I needed it. I got it because I didn't want to be a hypocrite trying to sell something that I didn't have myself. But thank God I had it because, my medical insurance covered all those bills. And plus I had supplemental coverage that gave me a multi-6-figure tax-free income that allowed me to focus on my recovery and not worry about, debt or bills or money. So that's where my crusade is to help you take control of your finances, but more importantly, acquire the proper protection to prevent financial ruin. Because, as an entrepreneur, and not just an entrepreneur, just as a person living day to day, one illness, one injury can wipe you out financially. And 60% of Americans, and it's probably even higher now that we're in the pandemic, file bankruptcy because of medical bills. And 80% of those folks had health insurance. But you have to understand there's a difference between having health insurance and using it. So that's where I kind of help my clients, strategize on how to get the proper protection to prevent financial ruin.
Right, right. And not just health insurance, but other insurances too. Because some people, I've heard the term, they're insurance poor, meaning, they pay so much out insurance, but imagine if you didn't have it and didn't have it at all, or didn't have the right coverage that you need. And that's something that, like, you're trying to get across to everybody. It is important. It is important.
Because there's a product out now that's been out for a while, but nobody really knew about it, which was living benefits. A lot of people have the traditional life insurance that pays your family when you die, but the living benefits not only pays your family in case you die, but it pays you in case you don't. So you can draw up to 90% of your death benefit and use it while you're living, because people nowadays don't die from heart attack, stroke, and cancer like they did back in the day. People are surviving, and even with the coronavirus, everybody's not dying, even though the number of deaths is scary, but the number of cases alone is even more scary. But a lot of those folks aren't dying, but they are incapacitated, and, they may have some residual effects from it. And you need to be covered. You don't need to have to use your life savings to, provide health care after the fact, or even home care. So we try to encourage our people, not encourage them, we tell them this is what you need to have, and it's up to them to get it.
Right.
But, we give them the strategy to protect themselves, their life, their health, and their finances to prevent financial ruin.
Wonderful. Thank you. I mean, that's just reinforcing, what we kind of know, but making a connection to why it's so important. It really does make a difference. So another thing here I found very, very interesting. You have proven tips to uncover hidden money. So I want to know about this hidden money.
Okay. Well, some of the things is like what I talked about with the points. There are opportunities to do your everyday activities or your everyday expenditures and take advantage. If you go to a restaurant and eat, or if you buy something online, or if you, order something online for food or whatever, since we're not going out as much, you have to, take advantage. You need to have a rewards enrollment in every place that you frequent. Anybody you do business with, if they got a rewards program or a loyalty program, you need to be signed up. Now, my banner behind me, I got it from Office Depot. It would have cost me $300, but because I had a coupon and my rewards dollars, it only cost me $150. So it's those kind of things. And, a lot of my family, they used to tease me about that, but now they're doing the same thing. They're signed up for the rewards. They get the discounts on the gas and the, rewards for the airline, the hotel. And it works, it's a way of life for me. And now it's becoming a way of life for them.
That's fantastic. Again, they're all things that we have heard of, or maybe, we know somebody that does. I know at one point I had a family member that got really into couponing, and they had a system. The Sunday paper came in, they got they picked out the coupons. They had a filing system for the coupons, and they made their shopping, list via the coupons, what stores they were, and found stores that had double coupon days. Like, it would take double off the coupon. So, those are all things. It may take time to get something set up to follow that, but it's worth it. It's worth it.
And one more thing, there are different, I know banks, they'll offer incentives for you to open accounts or refer a friend. I know my bank offered, a $250 reward or bonus if you open an account and let certain amount of money sit there for like 60 days. So of course I took advantage of that. And next thing I know, I was referring people, telling people about it, referring them, and I got like $900 because of, that whole process, that whole offer they were, presenting. So there, things like that. You want to also, open accounts and use credit cards that have no fees or low fees. If you got good credit, you can get all that. But if you don't have good credit, you can still get a good checking account that is not going to have no fees to it. Now, a lot of credit unions have either no fee or minimal fee. So you want to look at that, and then you want to get debit cards and credit cards that offer those rewards. My credit union, I have a credit card with them, and I went to Hawaii, and I used my points from there to rent a van for a week for 7 days. It didn't cost me anything because I had the points. So you want to look at those kind of things. You want to take advantage of the no or low fees. You want to pay your bills on time for once, because, late fees, penalties, they can wipe you out. So you want to be really conscious about how you handle your finances and the way you think about money.
Right. And I know when we I had you on for the other show, another thing that you had said that people could do for money at this point is to, you're not necessarily nowadays, because of the pandemic, having yard sales or garage sales or whatever, but you can still sell items, right, on whether it be Craigslist or whatever the case may be. And now Facebook has the marketplace or whatever that you can could ship it to somebody or whatever. So,
well, that's even better now, because garage sales, you're going to get pennies on a dollar. But the way technology is, you can post things on like Poshmark, eBay, Amazon, and get top dollar, get almost retail. So it's even better now. And you don't have to be out in the hot sun in the garage or in the driveway with tables set up. You just post your things online. My sons taught me that years ago. They used to, not print, but paint. They're both artists. So they would paint T-shirts and things when they were like middle school, and they would sell it to their, peers for like $15, $20. Like, they always had money. And then as they got older and went through college, they were, taking some of the things that were gently used and, designer stuff, polo shirts, Jordan shoes and things like that. And they posted online, and people were buying it from them. They just ship it out to them. The people would pay up front, via some electronic form, Cash App or Zelle or something, PayPal. And it turned out to be a good little business for them, and I'm like, okay, I should be doing that as well. So, things that I don't give away, because I am, I do believe in giving to like the homeless shelters and the battered women's shelters. They come to my house probably about twice a month. But, there are things that I have that are gently used that, I don't really want to just give away. I want to, sell. And, it's worked out well to bring you some money. And then too, this is a different time, but the Airbnbs, there are a lot of folks. I have a friend and a client who has an extra house that they rent out solely for Airbnb. And when they have big events in the area, concert, football games, or, something like that, they're getting top dollar for renting their house out. And, they have a cleaning service that comes in and cleans up afterward. And the next, it's posted, and the next person comes in, and it's worked out pretty good for them.
Yeah, that's excellent. All excellent ideas for people to, make their finances at this point last longer, and have less financial stress, so those are all wonderful tips, Wendy. Are there anything, thinking of future forward, looking towards the future, to help people who may have had a difficult time with what COVID has done, to start building a plan for their better financial health for tomorrow?
There are a couple of things. I talk a lot about indexing to my clients, especially folks that have the 401ks and 403bs, IRAs. right now the government is waiving penalties for you to pull that money out. But I have products where you can roll it over or else you can pull it out. It depends on what product we're going to do. I have one fixed index annuity where you'll get a 5% bonus on top of the return that you get from the market. Now, the market crashed before it did. I had clients that, I encouraged them to, roll their money over and get into an index product, which means that there's a ceiling and there's a floor. So say the market does 18%, but your ceiling is 15%. You're only going to get 15%, but it has a floor, and this one product pays 0.25%. So when the market crashed, they stopped at the floor where everybody else went down in the basement, or you really down in the tunnel.
Right.
And, they were calling me after and said, Wendy, I'm so glad I made that change. Thank you so much, because their money didn't, they didn't lose any money. They didn't make any money, but they didn't lose any. But I have some people that didn't take my advice and they came back, Wendy, I should have listened to you. I'm logging on my IRA or 401k. It's not worth, nearly as much. It's like, hey, I gave you the opportunity to make the switch, but that's another thing. You have to, you have to be obedient and you have to move. You have to take action. You can't think too long. Like my mom used to say, you study long, you study wrong. So they studied long and they studied wrong. So those are things that people need to really take a look at where they are now, because where they were in December is not where they are now. And you need to look at it. And like I said, take the action to do that and not wait until it's too late and you've lost all your money. So you look at where you are now, or it's like what I call diagnose your financial health now and develop a strategy to get to where you want to be based on, the circumstances and where you are.
And so strategy wise, over the years I've heard of many different things, and there's even something I think I saw, I can even probably find it on Pinterest now or whatever, where, okay, if you save a dollar a day starting today, and then tomorrow you add another, you know what I mean? That it adds up throughout the year and you can actually end up having so much saved. Is there a certain strategy that you recommend?
Yes, it's called the rule of 72, and you have to understand how that works. And that's how interest compounds. The banks aren't paying anything. You may get a penny on a dollar if you're lucky, or a quarter of a penny on a dollar. So, the strategy to save is not as effective now because the bank, interest rates are so low. But if you put it in, like I said, an index product where you can get the benefits of the market with no risk, that's the way to go.
Right.
Because, you can put the money there, not only grow and, have, the rule of 72, I guess I need to explain that
a little
first.
bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, what that is it's taking the return of it on your investment and divided by 72. And that tells you how many years it'll take for that investment to double. So let's say, you have someone that has $10,000 and the return on that investment is 4%. If you divide that into 72, you get 18. So it's going to take 18 years for that $10,000 to double to 20,000. But say if you did a 10% return on investment of that 10,000, it's only going to take 7 years. So the difference between 18 and 7 is 11 years. So you're saving 11 years and then your money has doubled twice in the same time it was just doubled once. So you have to, or almost really 3 times. So you have to understand how that works, the compound interest. You don't want to put it in a simple interest because that just means that they're going to pay you the same amount of interest every month. But with compound, whatever interest you get paid adds onto your principal, and then the interest is built or calculated on that amount. So it compounds versus just the same flat amount every year. So, it's those things, those kind of principles that you really need to understand to see where the best place your money. And right now, a bank, you might as well have it under your mattress because you probably get more money with dust under your mattress than you get out of the bank right now.
Right. Well, thank you. Thank you for all this wonderful information. I'm sure the viewers will be eating this up, And again, comment down below, and Wendy can reach out. She'll be able to reach out to you and reply to your comments. And then you can get hooked up with her if you need to have further information. So, Wendy, do you have any special offers that you can give to our folks today?
I do. As a matter of fact, I'm offering all your viewers and listeners a chance to get a complimentary 20-minute strategy session with me if you would text the word TALK, TALK, to 770-796-4944. That's TALK, TALK, to 770-796-4944. And, whatever your situation that you want to talk about, whether it be taxes, or diagnosing your financial health, you'll have 20 minutes, have your questions ready so we don't waste any time, answering your questions. So I'll be glad to work with people and get them, off to a good start, and, help them understand the pandemic doesn't mean, and the economic downturn doesn't mean that you have to be in a panic or an economic downturn. We can work that out and give you a strategy to help you move forward to get to where you want to be financially.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic, Wendy. With what I do with my clients, I teach them to learn to put themselves first, put their health, and that includes their mental, their spiritual, their physical, but also their financial health first.
Yeah.
And because if not, it can stress us so bad, it can eat us up and cause us to self-sabotage, close down, and not be able to move forward. So having all these things top of mind is very important to be able to move forward.
I do want to mention, I would be remiss if I didn't. I have a book coming out September 30th. It's called Diagnose Your Financial Health. And it's going to talk about the things that we discussed today on your show, but do a deeper dive in that. So the launch date is September 30th, but we're going to have some pre-sales opportunities available. But, I think it's going to be probably the end of July, middle August. But you can go to www.thefinancialcures.com, and we'll be posting information about that.
Awesome. That's fantastic, because my second edition of my book will be launching. My plan is August 3rd, when my show goes live.
Right.
And that is the Goal Achievement Strategist Guide to Reaching Your Full Potential. So, it all works together. It all ties together. So it's wonderful to have you as my guest. I have a gift for everybody that comes on, and it is if they text the word GOAL, GOAL, to 866-926-4020, they get sent gifts that I have that are valued at just over $600 for people who want to take advantage of that are seriously looking at moving forward towards achieving their dreams and goals. So putting all this stuff together, it's a win-win situation. Yes. So thanks so much for joining me,